Due to globalization, technological progress, and high level of social media use, nowadays people face intercultural communications more and more often. The purpose of this video is to raise awareness regarding the importance of cultural differences and illustrate their impact on our personal and professional lives. This will be done by evaluating the theories associated with managing cultural diversity as well as our personal experience. Presenting our backgrounds, personal cases of intercultural interaction, and future career expectations, we will try to demonstrate that a person's values and behavior standards are usually influenced by societal norms, a country's history, and family education. This knowledge will be essential when managing a multicultural workforce or establishing new relationships. As one said, the beauty of the world lies in the diversity of its people. Once you understand and appreciate other people's cultural backgrounds, then you can also connect with them more. My name is Oksana and I was born in Russia, the largest country in the world with rich heritage and a multilingual population. Since my homeland spans two continents, Europe and Asia, its culture was influenced by various tribes and nations throughout history. According to Schwartz's theory of cultural value orientations, Russia falls into the category of Eastern European countries with a high level of hierarchy. This is evident as from my early childhood I was taught to behave responsibly as well as respect and obey my elders unquestionably. Another characteristic which is inherent in the Russian nation is embeddedness. People identify themselves as a part of the collective, strive toward shared goals, and personal interests are not seen as different from those of the group. Due to my parents' career, I left the country at the age of 6 years old and wasn't exposed to this way of thinking. Traveling around the world made me open-minded and empowered to build my own beliefs and life objectives. I faced my biggest cultural shock while working in Panama. Even though, according to Hofstede, it is considered to be a country with a high power distance index, I was allowed, even encouraged, to call my boss by the first name only. It was also considered appropriate to socialize with your supervisors outside the working place. At first I felt anxiety and hesitation regarding such a proposal, since it would never be permitted in my own country. Another confusing thing was the extent of emotions and tactility. For example, it was interpreted to be rude to leave work without hugging your coworkers or even giving a kiss on the cheek. Trompenaers and Turner covered this issue in their book Riding the Waves of Culture. Their model presents two approaches to emotions. Neutral, when people control their emotions and don't reveal what they're feeling, and emotional, when it is welcome to find ways to express feelings. Panama, along with other Latin American countries, is considered to be a typical emotional country. This experience gave me a better understanding that all cultures have their own social norms, and if something is different, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. This knowledge will be vital for my future hospitality career, since it will help to prevent misunderstandings when working with people with different cultural backgrounds. Hall's intercultural communication theory defines monochronic and polychronic cultures. This means that based on cultural background, the way people manage their time and accomplish tasks varies within different nationalities. If these cultural differences are not taken into account, work can be delegated wrong, which might negatively affect employees' performance and companies' productivity in general. Even though we all have our cultural differences, there are core social values that are universal. I believe that understanding what is commonly appreciated in various cultures is as essential as identifying the differences. By implementing the right organizational culture and creating an open, friendly working environment, a lot of cultural challenges can be avoided. Living and studying in a multicultural environment, I was exposed to different traditions, habits, and social norms. That is why I consider cultural sensitivity to be one of my biggest strengths. At the same time, in terms of professional goals, I have very high expectations towards myself as well as towards others. Acknowledging the fact that different cultures approach their work differently is my weak point at the moment and requires improvement. Various situations require different leadership styles. Some goals can be achieved with the use of transactional leadership theory. Some will be accomplished more effectively with the application of transformational or laissez-faire. Personally, I would associate myself as a participative leader. I believe that employees are one of the biggest assets for each business and should make their contribution to the decision-making process. However, the responsibility of making the final decision remains with the person in charge.
Hello, my name is Aya. I'm from the Central Asian country Kazakhstan. The Kazakh ethnics come from a mix of Turkic and Mongol nomadic tribes back in the 13th century. The word Kazakh means a free and independent nomad in ancient Turkish. Tribes were constituted of family members and the family elders. Intertribal marriages were important in establishing security and peace. Until today, arranged marriages is still the norm in most parts of the Kazakhstan. In the 18th century, the area was conquered by Russia, where 15 Soviet republics were united to form the USSR. This union has emerged more than 40 nationalities to Kazakhstan, 70% of which were Muslims. Being a Kazakh surrounded by multinational society, I could always articulate understanding of other cultures without forgetting my own roots. At the start of my teenage years, my family and I have moved to Dubai. By Hofstede's theory, being brought up in a vast diversity, however relatively collectivist culture, I have now moved to a broad, high-power distance, full collectivist culture. It was a rejuvenating experience, one of the hardest I had yet to explore. The Arab world was very tightly integrated, although hospitality plays a key role in Dubai society due to its modern touristic destinations. It still keeps a meticulous bond with old traditions and mainly their religion, which is Islam. However, partially our cultures were related, both linked to Islam and family always coming first. For me personally, facing such immense cultural surrounding, I remained pragmatic even in the most emotional circumstances. First cultural shock was in my first year of university in Switzerland. Being located in the heart of Europe already promised a universal change of cultures for me. Making friends with a few local people, we arranged to meet for coffee on the weekend. When the bill arrived, one of the students said it is 12 €56 from each, and everyone started to count their coins. As for now, it is a complete norm for me. Though back then, having just arrived from a country where guests literally fight on who will cover the bill and keep inviting each other until the favor is returned, I felt complete discomfiture. According to Schwartz's theory of value orientation across nations, most social scientists view value as deeply rooted, abstract motivations that guide, justify, or explain attitudes, norms, opinions, and actions. Moreover, values can reflect major social change in societies and nations. Middle East is divided between categories such as affective autonomy and embeddedness. Due to the economic stability and growth, Arabs fall into Hofstede's theory of low uncertainty avoidance level. Hence, they have high tolerance and ambiguity as well as belief in accepting and encouraging. They feel much more comfortable with the unknown, thus their kindness approaches all nations, no matter where they come from. On the other hand, Switzerland fall into the egalitarianism and mastery index of Schwartz's theory, where everyone is considered to be equal as well as seek success through personal action, which made the local people to care with attention about each income earned and every euro spent. This cultural difference has taught me to appreciate what I have, strive for personal success, and simultaneously stay generous and humble towards others. I believe these qualities will help me to succeed in my hospitality career in future.
My name is Irene. I'm from Thailand in the southeast of Asia. Thai people respect hierarchy in any kind of relationship. When we meet other people, we will be automatically put in a hierarchy by their appearance, social connections, age, and education. For example, being touchy with a person's head or other body part is unacceptable, especially of an elder. That and much more my family had taught me since when I was young. According to Hop Street Culture Dimension, Thailand has a very low individualism index. This is true since in my culture, family is the most important thing in our life. We talk to each other about everything before we make any decision. If we would be planning to buy a car or make any other kind of valuable purchase, first thing I would do is discuss with my relative. I left my country to study in England at the age of 13. I noticed that there are a lot of difference between Western culture and my own. I experienced a big culture shock while seeing how people don't have value for social hierarchy, which don't seem polite to me. I did my first internship in Portugal during my first year. It was my first time to working in a real hotel. I felt nervous to go to work without knowing anything about the country or how to handle this new situation. When I started working, I felt surprised because Thailand and Portugal are in different continents and my country is very far from Portugal. But it turned out that we have similar culture. Portugal has a low masculine index, meaning that everyone working without pressure. They come to work in the morning and start working and have a small break before lunch. After lunch, we would work hard until the end of the shift, and then we would go home. This is the daily routine. I have asked them if this is not boring life for them. They say no, and they are happy to work in this way. In the kitchen, it was particularly peaceful environment to work in. Similar to Thailand, people come to work in the morning and go home after work or socialize, since there is no pressure between employees. In Portugal, when there were festivals, people would go out as a family to spend time together. It was very common for a restaurant to be full of different families. It reminds me of my own family. In the workplace, it is impossible for everyone to have the same culture even if they come from the same country. To understand the team member is a good opportunity to learn about new culture and develop a personal working style in the organization. Work can go on more smoothly when you understand what style the team has when appropriating their work. As I am studying in an international school, I have learned from different culture, tradition, and lifestyle of other countries. Thus, I think I can use my experience to work with them in the future. My strength is that I am open-minded and I welcome a new idea from others. I am always open to new idea, ready to listen to people and accept one's advice.
Beyond this aggregate picture of something as polarizing as culture, we have tried to illustrate that the main components such as genuine human kindness, respect, and loyalty will always be in trend of cultural dimension. With the vast diverse clarity of measuring the intercultural challenges people face every day and the impact of that culture within workplace or consumer behavior should be managed for customers' incentive to grow in equal opportunities. Absorbing and evaluating different academic theories has accumulated personal reflection upon every cultural diversity. This epitomizes the importance and value of togetherness that tomorrow our children will follow. Like Julie Bishop said, our cultural diversity has most certainly shaped our national character.